Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kathy J Show. How are you, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in this half hour and hanging out with us. Happy holidays. I hope your holidays are treating you good so far. You know, for me in my house, we're fighting a lot. That's why today's topic is about fighting. So don't forget, you can catch us anytime at kathyjshow.com, everybody. Catch any of the episodes you might have missed. So when it gets into the kids fighting, just this morning, the kids were fighting because Gianna took Avery's socks. And I don't know, socks are valuable in our house. So taking the socks before school, all of a sudden there was a fight, then it turned into yelling, then it turned into you can't play with my toys tonight when you get home from school. It's one thing after another. And to be under the same roof when it's happening and the yelling and the fighting keeps going, is there a way to deal with it? How do we deal with it? The only way to deal with it is to get our doctor in here. Everybody, we have Dr. Sheryl Ziegler here to help us fight the fight. Thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so kids fighting. You have kids. Mm-hmm. They fight. That's why you were like, I know this topic, Kathy. We can talk about this.
Yep.
They fighting, what is it? Is it our human nature to start to automatically fight when we're young? And it's up to the parent to tell us how to do it correctly. What is it?
Yes.
It's all of it.
It is all of it,
Yeah.
because kids are, when they're siblings, it's different.
Okay.
Fighting with your friends is different than fighting with your sibling, right?
Yes,
Fighting
right.
with your sibling is like you get down and dirty with them.
My first fights were with my sister.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
even physical. If you're going to get physical, it's probably going to be with a sibling first.
Right, for sure.
So we think in child development, there's a core element of jealousy and vying for attention.
Okay.
And so sometimes parents say, well, I wasn't even in the room, though. That's happening upstairs. It doesn't matter. It's like they need to prove to the parent, the caregiver, that, see, I'm the good one.
Really?
Yes, I'm the good one.
Okay.
They're the bad one.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens. They are quick to say, Gianna did this or Avery did this. They usually want to push the blame. But when it's happening and I'm not even around, they're still doing it out of a jealousy issue?
There's also like competing ages and stages, right?
Yes, there are, yes.
So it's like, who is the alpha? Who's smarter? Who's faster? Who's, wittier? And so there's this level of competition between them that some people, it exists at Christmas, you'll see it, right?
Yeah.
You'll see it with 30-year-old people. Like, you'll just see it.
So you do see it at stages, and it's not always the oldest that has the more power. Sometimes the younger one is more confident, or whatever the dynamics are, or however the parents treat the kids. That also affects the fighting. It's everything that's affecting how the kids treat each other.
This is why it drives everybody so crazy.
Exactly, because you can't really put your finger on it.
Right. It's birth order, right?
Yes, right.
It's temperament is a big one.
Yeah.
Right? So temperament just means what is your disposition at birth? Right? Are you the easy baby?
Right,
some
were you
people,
the happy baby,
right?
right?
They're just like, they were just happy when they were born.
Yes.
They were born with a smile on their face,
Right.
right? And they're just easygoing. Then you have the next one, and they're cranky, they're irritable,
Right.
they're strong-willed.
We are born with our personalities. I definitely agree with you there.
Yes,
we
it's
are.
stable. It's stable over time.
Yeah.
It is stable over time.
So it's learning that we're all different, that we all have issues, and then trying to figure out how to get your kids to work together. Is that what I'm doing as a parent?
So what you're doing as a parent is, first, you're being thoughtful about how are they spending their time. Do they spend too much time together? Do we separate? You should separate your kids out when they're getting along.
Right. I should?
Yes.
That's the only time I like them to be together. What do you mean?
They get to play and be getting along pretty good.
Yeah.
And then at some point you go, hey, you guys have been playing so nice. It's so nice. I think this would be a great time. So like, go to your rooms and go read books, or somebody can come help me in the kitchen. Somebody can go do this.
The purpose of that is why?
Leave it on a high note.
Okay.
Right? So like, we just had this interaction, and they might even be like, no, but we're having fun. And it'll be really tempting.
Yes.
Right? To be like, okay,
Go
great.
ahead, another 5 minutes. Right?
Yeah,
but
for
leave
me.
It on high, for any
Right.
parent.
Leave it on a high note. And you can say to them, well, you could just help me for like a half hour, go read for 20 minutes, then you guys can pick it up again.
Okay.
So leave the Legos there or whatever.
I love that.
Yes.
We're going to leave this on a high note. We'll be right back after this break, everybody. When should you get involved? That's what we're going to talk about next. Kathy J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. So Dr. Sheryl Ziegler is here, and she's amazing. I've been asking her as much as I can in the commercial break. You know what? Fighting in the family is hard on the family, especially the parents, because you don't know when you need to jump in. You don't know when you need to mediate. How do you discipline it? Do you do it afterwards, during? All of those questions we're asking Sheryl today. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so Sheryl, when we left, you said if they're playing good together, separate them so they know how to play good alone, and you leave it on a high note. Because normally when I separate the kids to play alone, something bad has happened and I'm over it, so go to your rooms. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah, and let me make sure this is super clear. Not in the middle of the super fun do you go, hey, you're having super fun right now. It's like, you start to get that feeling like this is going really well. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Like this isn't going to last forever.
Okay.
Let me start. Hey guys, I love how you're playing. In like 5 minutes, I'm going to have you go read and you go help me in the kitchen, or we're going to do whatever.
All right.
So give them a warning. So it's not a disruptive like middle.
Okay, yeah.
But you want it to end really well. And then the other thing is that what we were talking about in the break is when they do actually start to fight though, right? Maybe you did that and 5-minute warning triggered them like, oh, it's time to have a fight.
Yes.
Right? So then now they start arguing. You do initially want to try to let them work it out.
Okay.
Right? So it doesn't have to be just a straight up like, oh, I'm not here at all. I don't hear the fighting. But if you're going to say anything, it's like a reminders of like, remember to use our words.
Yes.
Right? Like you're popping around.
Right.
Remember to use your words. Remember to be kind. Maybe you need some deep breaths. Maybe now is a good time for a break. Maybe we don't need 5 minutes.
Right.
So you can throw things out there, but ultimately we want them to learn conflict resolution.
Okay. So they're fighting. So I hear them fighting. I hear Avery say something disrespectful to Gianna. Do I say, use your words better? I mean, am I really like an eavesdropping
let's role play
mom?
right now.
Right.
Use your words better.
right. Be nicer. Like, am I really eavesdropping like that? Or, because do I say things or do I hope that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
am I
do.
just the mom that's wandering in with a towel randomly?
So
trying to make sure that they're doing it right?
This is what I would say right now, right? Because I know we were just talking about how your kids were fighting.
Right.
So I would say you come home this afternoon.
Yeah.
I always like these like family meetings, right?
This.
And family meetings is a suggestion. Hey guys, I've really noticed that you guys have been fighting a lot lately, and we're about to go into Christmas break. We're about to go into a holiday break.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Right? And that we all know. That's 2.5 weeks. It can be of torture.
Yeah.
So I would say to them, let's remember what our skills are. Or like if you haven't talked about them, just let's talk about our skills. Let's talk about skills.
Okay.
We might be upset because somebody might get a present and you might realize you wanted it.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna happen.
Right? Somebody, you might break something. That's the worst. You get something and then it breaks.
Yes.
But this one
theirs didn't break.
Yeah, theirs didn't break.
Right.
So predict out for them what are the likely triggers. And what can you do if that happens? Because when they're all calm in your family meeting,
everything's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be great.
Right? Everything's gonna work out.
But that is when you learn. You learn when you're calm. You do not learn when you're upset.
When you're fighting. Okay, when you're yelling.
It's a crisis.
It is a crisis. So by talking to them, you're doing the solution-focused resolution that you're talking about that we need to do with our kids.
And you find out where the holes are. Because they might have like 2 good ideas and you realize like, oh, they didn't say take deep breaths. Like to me, taking deep breaths is an essential part of conflict resolution.
Right, nobody ever remembers that.
Right, remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe.
You gotta practice that though when you're calm. If you do not practice when you're calm, you're not gonna do it when you're stressed.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So teach them things, so have a family meeting.
Do it when everything is calm.
Do it when it's calm.
Yeah.
Predict out what is likely to be triggers.
Right.
Predict out the things that are going to happen. And then maybe if they're really into this, role play it.
Yeah, okay. We're going to come back and I'm going to do role play with you because usually that turns into something in my house. Okay, we come back with Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, a little role playing. And we're also going to get into more like when do you need to step in as a parent. We'll be back.
Kathy J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on.
Kathy J.
Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. We've been talking about kids fighting. Why do they fight? When should parents step in? Should they step in? We're learning that they shouldn't step in. You got to kind of let them figure it out. But talk to them when it's calm, everybody. You don't go at it when the angers are high and heated and you're heated. Dr. Sheryl Ziegler is here to tell us all about it. Okay, so Sheryl, we were going to role play really fast.
Yep.
Okay, so when I start telling the girls as calm, hey, when you guys start fighting about stuff, when you start arguing and stuff, we need to learn to take deep breaths. We need to not yell at each other. We need to be respectful of each other's stuff. Then immediately it turns into, but Gianna always takes my such and such. And then Gianna comes back, but Avery's always doing this. And already my ears at that it's a calm conversation that right now is under my skin. Like, what do I do?
Okay, so
Okay,
you're
all
the
right,
kids?
right,
You're
yeah.
your own kids
Yeah,
right
I'm
now?
my own kids. You're
Okay.
me. Okay.
Okay, I'm
right.
you.
But Gianna, I didn't do that. Yes, you did do that. I didn't do that.
Okay. Oh, you
Okay.
both have so much to say.
Yes, but
I'm
Gianna's-
I'm so glad that you're so excited about talking about this.
Uh-huh.
Because we're going to have a great holiday break, right, guys?
Yes, we're going to have a great Santa's
Yes,
coming.
Santa's
Yay,
coming.
right.
So we have to have a great break. So I'm so glad you want to talk about this. So one person talks at a time.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
One person. So it starts with me.
Okay.
I go first.
All right.
Then you go, Gianna, and then you go.
Okay,
Okay?
right.
Put our listening ears on. Okay. So I heard some really, really big frustrations.
Okay.
Do you have frustrations?
Yes, because Avery's always doing this to me.
Oh, okay. Ooh, let's
But
take our
Gianna's
finger down.
always doing-
Ooh, we don't like pointing.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
We don't want to point.
Okay.
Do you love your sister?
Yes, I love my sister.
Okay. Okay. So let's not point, right?
Okay.
Because we don't like
right.
the pointing.
But she's not, you're right. But she's always doing this, and then they start, yeah.
Tell me what you like about playing with Gianna.
Okay. All right. I like that she's gives me her toys.
Oh, so sometimes she shares?
Yes, I
She
do
can be
like
a good
that.
sharer.
She
How do you
shares.
think you do with sharing?
I don't share too much.
You don't share too much. So should that be our goal?
No.
Why?
Okay, I see how you're talking
You know,
to them.
you get it?
You're helping them put in like clear boundaries, kind of.
Right.
Right?
I'm
With
trying
how
to
they-
bring the positive.
Yes.
I'm trying to be really clear. I'm trying to also stop the tangents
Yes.
of how terrible their sibling is, right?
Uh-huh.
Like quick stop.
Right.
Right,
I love how you go, put your listening ears on. I
Yeah,
love that.
Right. So some of it's like the way a teacher would act. You know,
Uh-huh.
like teachers are like
Yes.
masters. If you watch them in their
Oh,
classrooms,
they're great, yes.
you're like, oh.
Happy days, happy days. Everybody
Yes.
get in line.
But they have a choice too, right?
Right.
They could be yelling and screaming too. Think about that, right?
Right.
But instead, they're just like always like positive, quickly redirecting. They're on their toes,
Uh-huh.
right? And shutting it down.
I like to remind them we're part of a family together. We will figure this
Mm-hmm.
out together. We don't fight in a family. Because my sister and I fought so much that we don't talk. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want that for my kids. You
Yeah,
know?
okay, so one thing I told you on the break to remind me, a values-based statement.
Yes.
Like a values mission statement for your family.
Okay.
Because you were asking me about my kids. Of course they bicker and
Yeah, I
stuff
was
like
like,
that.
do your kids fight,
Right.
Cheryl?
I think they do in this area a little bit better, but only because in my value statement, this is what I picture, honestly. I'm a little bit of an older mom, and I'm like, one day I'm not going to be here. And they have to love each other, right? Like so many adult siblings aren't
don't,
close.
yeah.
So it's like I have this whole vision in my head that could happen, and I don't want it to happen. So right now, I make them be buds. I make them stand up for each other. I have two boys,
Yes.
right? And like I make the older brother, and when I say
Yeah.
make, like sometimes I'm sure he'd rather be like, well, he has to deal. Like, no, that's your brother.
Yeah,
In
okay.
our family,
We stand
up for each other.
Right.
Right? We
That is
have
a
each
family
other's back.
value that a lot of people
Write it.
Yeah, okay.
Write it out. Like literally, like when a
Yes.
company has a mission statement, you should have a
They do
family.
write it out.
They write it out. They hang it up.
So yours says like our family looks out for each other. or
Yes,
so-
we have
whatever.
like 3 top values.
Okay, what are they?
So spirituality,
Uh-huh.
giving, and creating community.
All right.
So anything like faith, right?
Right.
So anything that I take, I put it under one of those 3. So like in our faith, like family's first.
Yes.
Right? Like family always comes first. So you can be frustrated with each other. Always give them permission.
Okay.
You can be frustrated with Gianna that she's not a great sharer or whatever.
Okay.
You can be frustrated. That is validate that.
Okay, so that's when you say you have a right to be sad right now. You are okay to
Yeah.
have these emotions.
Yes, right.
Because so often I'm so angry hearing the crying and the fighting that I just start yelling and shut up, shut it down. But I need to say you're okay to feel like this.
Right. It's not okay to act like this though.
Okay, gotcha.
It's okay to feel. I can't tell you how to feel.
Right.
But I can help shape how you act.
Exactly.
Right? So
I
there's
want to shape how
split
they
that.
act so I don't have to deal with bad acting teenagers.
Right. Feelings and behaviors. Do it for them though.
Yeah.
Like when your family meeting tonight that you're
Okay.
gonna have.
Yeah. We are having one. You already put it in my head. I was
You're
like, we're
having a
doing
family
it,
meeting
yes.
tonight and you're gonna talk about feelings are okay. And sometimes our behaviors though are not.
Okay.
Right? And sometimes
Yes.
they are.
Right.
So when you feel frustrated, what do you do now? They should be able to like, I stomp my feet. Right. So do we want to keep doing that or do we want something else? We
Right.
want something. Okay, what's something else you could do when you're frustrated?
Okay, I like that.
Replacement behavior. I mean, then that's the therapy part, right? That's a replacement behavior.
Good things.
Good things.
Okay.
So it's like anything, right? Addiction, anything you do.
You have to replace it with something
Yeah.
good to fill your bucket so
Right.
you don't want the bad. So
I can't just tell you to stop doing something
you
bad.
can't. Right. So as a parent, then am I trying to like, do I need to go one more further and have one-on-one time with the kid and
Yes.
separate it?
That's the proactive piece. That's why when I pretend like, oh, you're going to separate and do this,
Yeah.
you're kind of, if you can, spend some one-on-one time with each kid.
Why is that important?
So because they're vying unconsciously for your attention and for your love
Okay.
and maybe even to be like the favorite.
Uh-huh.
And so you want each of them to feel special.
Right.
ultimately, at the end of the day, we know
I
you,
know
you love them
have
both.
to,
But
'cause everything is a competition, from how much cereal they get in the bowl to you know how much toothpaste goes on their brush. Like, it is ridiculous.
And if you think you don't have enough time, I promise you do. Because when you're replacing the referee
The craziness.
with like just some really nice time, 10, 15 minutes. It's not a lot of time.
You're right. Quality over quantity.
Oh, it goes such a long, yes.
Yes.
It goes such a long way. It really, truly does. When everybody's bucket's filled,
Yeah.
all of a sudden they can get along better.
Yes, you're right. Everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's happening. Nobody's starting to take from each other.
So think of it as investment, because I know some parents, and some parents tell me they
Investment.
don't like to play with kids.
Right.
They don't like to play. People admit that to me sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, then find what you do like to do. Maybe it's baking, maybe it's taking a walk, maybe it's bike ride. Find what you can genuinely find your joy in. Don't pretend.
Okay.
Because then they'll know.
Okay, but 15 minutes will go
Yes.
a mile.
A long, long
That
way.
is awesome. Okay, thank you, Dr. Sheryl. Coming up next, everybody. Here we go. When should parents actually start worrying about that fighting? When does it get out of control? We're going to talk about it next. Thank you.
Kathy J.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better.
Kathy J.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show, everybody. So when kids fight, ooh, when they fight, it gets ugly. It gets ugly, everybody. But when does the ugliness turn into something where the parents should be concerned? Dr. Sheryl Ziegler is here, our child and family therapist. Thank you so much. I am having a meeting with my family tonight.
Yes.
We're going to have a calm meeting and talk about boundaries and family values, refresher course before the holiday gets here.
Yes.
Absolutely. What happens to the parents out there whose kids fight to the point where it's bullying, it's pushing, it's bad?
Yeah. And I do
And I
work.
think it's a lot of boys, like, right? I mean,
Oh, girls,
really?
no. Girls,
Oh,
remember the difference between boys and girls? Boys will be straight up like more physical.
True.
And girls are more like, oh,
You
nope,
didn't make
Yeah,
it.
you can't play with me.
Yeah, they do
You
do
know,
that, right.
like,
Catty.
oh, I got the better gifts, or I got the good makeup, or whatever.
Yes,
right?
right.
They do more of that
They do
passive
do that.
aggressive. So you really need to get involved. Actually work with families where it's super sad that the siblings are not, it's not sibling rivalry, it's gone beyond that. And
Wow.
and you would know, it's cruel, it's intentional, it's planned, it's physical.
it's scary.
It's scary, and it creates an environment in your house where you as the parent feel like you're walking on eggshells
Yes.
around your kids. You should never feel like you're walking on eggshells around your partner or your kids.
Okay, so
Right.
if that's happening, you know, like you're too scared to sleep because you're worried that your one kid might hurt the other kid in the middle of the night. Who knows?
Right.
You know, I mean, what do you do as the parent? It's past a meeting.
It is definitely past a meeting. It is
Yeah.
time to get professional help.
It is.
Yes, because, and I don't always say that super easily, but in this case, I see what it does to families, right? And don't wait until it's gone. I mean, it's just cruel. It's something like, someone comes home and is like, oh, look at the art that I did. And they're like, that's so ugly. That's so stupid. You're so stupid. You know what I mean? It's like verbal abuse.
Yes, right.
Like, it's one thing if they're just like, oh, that snowman looks dumb.
Right.
That's, not nice.
Right, but I heard your tone was different.
Yeah,
There
it's
was
different, and
intention.
I have seen it myself in other people's family. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And usually the parents are usually great parents. They've lost control, or they thought that it was just normal, this is normal, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a steep cliff.
Yes.
So that's why you want to be on this early. We have to all understand some of this is normal.
Right, but I do think so many people have like younger kids and they just think, oh, isn't it cute, or it'll go away, or they grow out of it, and then all of a sudden they're now a teenager with those bad habits.
Yeah.
Of talking back or disrespecting people on their projects and
Or
stuff.
being mean to them even at school, or
Yes.
allowing other people to be mean to their sibling, or even being a part of it.
Right, you
Or
don't-
excluding them. I mean,
So you
Yeah.
go take it to a counselor there
I would.
and then say, these are the problems we're having.
Yes.
And try to deal with the
right,
family.
because
Okay.
back to when we talked about bullying, if it gets to that point, there's something wrong within you if
Yeah.
you need to be cruel
Yes.
to someone else. Cruel is not sibling rivalry, typical kid fight.
That's such a good point. Because I'm thinking about my history with my sister and the cruel things that were done. I think about other siblings where, bones have been broken on the fights that have happened and stuff. So
Yeah.
when it gets to those stages, there's nothing wrong with saying you need help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you're going to deal with, oh my God, imagine where it goes after that.
Yeah, it affects the whole family.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I leave you today, you have about a minute left.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, but what would you like everybody to know out there, parents out there getting in through the holiday season?
Yes.
And then after, what would you like them to know?
I would say during the holiday season is like that great time to be like, okay, what do we want this to look like?
Yes.
Right? And so nobody wants it to look like fighting every day.
No.
So keep your kids busy, keep them active. Don't let it too much of the sugar overload. That one's hard,
That's huge,
right? But
right.
it does impact mood. And keep some downtime. Kids are revved up,
All the time.
and they can't regulate. Regulation says it's time for rest. You don't have
Right.
to take a nap.
Okay, yeah.
But rest, relax, separated,
So
and then
many
come
people
back.
keep their kids high wired all day, hoping it'll make them crash at night.
Right.
That's not the thing.
That's overstimulated
Okay,
sometimes.
all right, that's good to know. If you want to find out more, you should, from Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, just go to DrSherylZiegler.com. You can also find her on Instagram at Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays
Happy
to you and your
holidays.
family. Thank you.